home daily Bible reading for Wednesday leading up to April 5th, 2020. This one comes out of the book of Mark, Mark 15 through 19. And they came to Jerusalem, and Jesus went into the temple and began to cast out them that sold and bought in the temple, and overthrew the tables of the money changers and the seats of them that sold doves, and would not suffer that any man should carry any vessel through the temple. And he taught, saying, Is it not written, My house shall be called of all nations the house of prayer? But ye have made it a den of thieves. And the scribes and the chief priests heard it, and sought how they might destroy him. For they feared him because all the people was astonished at his doctrine. And even when even was come, he went out of the city. So this one catches up from where we were on Tuesday, and Jesus has come in triumphantly on a beast, and the people have cried, Hosanna, Hosanna. And now he goes to the temple. In the book of Mark, he goes to the temple, and the people are doing the very thing that God has told them not to do. So all outside of the temple, right before you go in, there are money changers, people that exchange money. They're crooked, they're not right. And then they have these people that sell doves. That's because they are trying to sell the people a sacrifice. So you give me $5 for 2 turtle doves, and somebody over here says, well, you give me $4.99 for 2 turtle doves. And they are money changers. They are up to no good. And Jesus reminds them, he turns over the table. He is righteously indignant. He turns over the tables that are out there, and he says, this is supposed to be a house of prayer for all. This is supposed to be a house of prayer where anybody can come and release their burdens and get rid of their burdens and do all of the things they need to do and get rid of their anxiousness and get rid of all of that stuff. And instead, they come here and they're faced with these money changers, and they're faced with these people selling and buying and all this kind of stuff. But I made it for a house of prayer. And the imagery is that he made it for a house of prayer, and now here are these people making it a den of thieves. And then on top of that, Jesus would not allow the other people to carry burdens through the temple while he was there. Why is that? When we go back into the Old Testament, we find that there are laws for what they could do on the Sabbath, and when they came into the house of God, what they could and could not do. And one of them was to carry certain burdens. And so Jesus was not having it. Now, at the same time, it says the scribes and the chief priests heard it, and they sought how to destroy him. Why? Because they were part of that crooked generation. They were part of the ones that were doing all of the wrong things. They were the ones teaching the people what to do incorrectly. For they feared him because all the people were astonished at his doctrine. Jesus' doctrine was true. Jesus' doctrine was right. Jesus' doctrine was not self-serving. He wasn't putting out a doctrine just so he could have a doctrine. He was putting out a doctrine because he wanted for sure for people to know God. The scribes and the Pharisees, they had money changers at the temple. The scribes and the Pharisees went against many of the laws. So they sought to kill him. And when he decided, when night came, he left the city. So that's Wednesday, House of Prayer for All Nations, coming out of the book of Mark, chapter 11, starting at 15, going through verse 19.